New overnight, the U.S. and Iran begin indirect nuclear talks on Oman as the U.S. Embassy is urging Americans in Iran just get out. It comes as the White House issues a warning with the U.S. naval assets are now in the Middle East.
While these negotiations are taking place, I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world.
Do they need to be reminded? Joining us right now is retired General, four-star General Jack Keane, Fox News' senior strategic analyst and chairman of the Institute of Study of War. General, these talks start. I always say to myself, why are we even having them?
Well, I agree, Brian. I think the idea of making a deal with Iran when they're at the weakest point they've ever been in their 45-plus-year history, politically, economically, and militarily. And this was all done by the combination of the strike that the Israelis and the United States made on Iran, certainly, and also you can see how frustrated the people are and the act of desperation that the Iranians demonstrated by mowing down these people by the thousands to preserve this regime is extraordinary in and of itself. That was of historic proportions. Yes, I think negotiating with the Iran and making the deal throws them a lifeline and extends the regime. They're going to want sanction relief, certainly condition-based. And what are we doing? We're going to have this regime around for another 10 years? The historic opportunity in front of us is we can take this regime down by a combined attack of Israel and the United States, comprehensive, done, much bigger than what took place during the 12-day war, and put this regime on the pathway to collapse and destruction. I mean, that is absolutely physically possible. And that opportunity is there. No president, seven before President Trump, have had this opportunity. And the reason why this opportunity is there because he and Prime Minister Netanyahu created the opportunity. Because Iran is so fundamentally weak, and we can't pass it up. And yes, it's historic, but also, Brian, the strategic implications of getting Iran off the board in the Middle East and putting the Middle East on a pathway to enduring peace would actually define President Trump's legacy as a president and foreign policy. It would be extraordinary to do something like that. And that opportunity is right here.
General, the president said, you protest in the streets, we got your back. I understand we got to get our assets in place. From the best you can ascertain with the Institute Study of War and the context that you have, is there a plan out there that you think that could take down the IRGC and the Ayatollah and not result in chaos on the streets?
There is no doubt in my mind that there's an absolute plan that we can execute to take down the civilian and military leadership of Iran, the entire IRGC infrastructure that sustains them, their defense industrial base that helps sustain them, the leaders of the militias and the infrastructure that's out there repressing the people, take down dramatically their entire rocket and ballistic missile program and do it comprehensively that would deny them to have holistic retaliation attacks on the United States bases or on Israel. And certainly whatever attempt they're making at recovering a nuclear program, we can deal with all of that. Yes, the intelligence the United States and Israel has on Iran is exquisite. And we can put kinetic means in place to absolutely force the collapse of this regime. That's the pathway forward. And then what is ever left, whatever the remnants are, in terms of what has happened in Venezuela, may be an example. It's not a clear analogous example. Then you have an opportunity to deal with them and negotiate with them when you have unbelievable leverage to get the outcome you desire as a result of a comprehensive Israeli and United States attack. The president knows all of this. I believe that's the path we will be ultimately on.
General, they've been a problem killing Americans since 1979, taking hostages, and it's just gotten worse from there. We've tried talking. It's not worked. We tried containing. It has not worked. This seems to be the only option, and I hope the president realizes that because he did promise the people in the streets that we did have their back, and 30,000, it looks like, were slaughtered. General Jack Keane, thanks so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.